Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Purple Rain will be celebrating its 40th anniversary at the end of the month, so I went on ahead and watched it and also listened to the Purple Rain album by Prince. So let's review in retrospect. So Purple Rain stars Prince, where he plays the kid. He is the lead singer of this band. He plays at a club every night, or almost every night I should say. But then he has a rival known as The Time. They compete on who gets to continue performing at this club. And while all this is happening, the kid has a troubled home life, and he falls in love with somebody. And also tries to help her become a singer, but then her loyalties change when she wants to work with The Time and thinks that they can help further her career. And now for some context. Personally, I'm more of a casual listener of Prince. I'm not the hugest fan of Prince. I'm more of a Michael Jackson guy, but that does not mean I do not like Prince. In fact, in the years since his passing back in 2016, I've grown to appreciate Prince as an artist and his music. But the one album that has always stood out to me within my mom and dad's old record collection is Purple Rain by Prince and the Revolution. And then I do remember watching the Purple Rain movie on TV1 back in the day for the first time and thought it was okay and a nice little benchmark for the 80s and Prince. But I've watched it multiple times over the years since then and have not really had the appreciation for the movie that I have for it now. In fact, I love it more and more that I watch it. And part of it is because, I'm a little bit older now and I view stuff or listen to stuff with more objective eyes, and I watch the movie with subtitles on so I can actually read the lyrics, and particularly Purple Rain. And within my 33 years on this earth, I never really understood the meaning of Purple Rain until now, and it's really all about spiritual cleansing. But given that this movie does take place in the 80s, I love the 80s vibe, and it really is kind of a time capsule of a movie between the music, the fashion, the hairstyles. Now, of course, I gotta address Prince. Of course, he wasn't really big on acting, but for the few times that he's acted, in which I know it was Purple Rain and two other movies that he was in, one of them was a direct sequel to this, but I have not watched those two movies, and maybe I will at some point, but Purple Rain is the only movie I've seen Prince in, and for his acting in this movie, it was serviceable at best. I mean, it wasn't really hard for him to play this character because it's basically related to him and in some ways also kind of his life story from what I understand. But Prince really did a good job at playing a lead singer that is at a crossroads and is trying not to become his father, hence the song Purple Rain, which is him cleansing himself from everything that has happened and getting a new start, a new beginning. I mentioned The Time. They really only have one song that I primarily know, but anything else, I'm sorry, I really don't know. But I am gonna get into them just a little bit more, listen to more of this stuff. The lead singer of The Time, he was good. He was good at playing someone to rival the kid and just getting them every chance he get. And then there's Apollonia, who plays the love interest of the kid. And it's funny because when I went and revisited this movie after Prince's death, and one of my friends, he's a huge Kanye fan like I am, but I really did not know that Kanye West was making a reference to this movie when he said, "You know how long I've been on ya since Prince was on Apollonia," and then he was basically referencing her character in this movie. I'm like, oh wow. But hey, that just comes to how people never really listened to lyrics back then, and then that somehow came back on me, and now I know. In the end, Purple Rain may not be one of my favorite movies, but it is a movie that I do admire, and to me it's kind of a time capsule movie because it's definitely a time capsule for the 80s. And with me being a little older and understanding this movie just a little bit more and understanding the Purple Rain album a little bit more, because I have listened to the Purple Rain album multiple times since I revisited the movie recently. But there have always been a couple of songs on the album that I do like, such as Let's Go Crazy. That is one of my favorite songs off this album. And then the song that follows after that, Take Me With You. I just love the instrumentation and the way it sounds on that song. And then, of course, you got the songs that everybody knows, like When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, the song, obviously. I Would Die For You. But Computer Love, that song slaps. If you've never listened to Purple Rain by Prince, I highly recommend you listen to that album and then go watch the movie itself. It's definitely they're both good little companion pieces to each other. Surprisingly, I'm gonna give Purple Rain the hard eyes emoji.